Tony Robbins is one of the most successful life and business coaches in the world. In this video, I'm going to share with you my top 5 takeaways from his latest book, Unshakeable. Welcome to the Peak Performance channel, the place where you come to be inspired to create a more prosperous future. Tony Robbins is a world-renowned motivational speaker, best-selling author and successful entrepreneur. In Unshakeable, he provides an insightful and comprehensive guide to financial success. Now, while the book covers a wide range of topics, there are 5 key takeaways that I believe are essential for anyone who wants to build wealth and secure the financial future. If you're curious about it, just keep on watching. So let's settle down for the first key takeaway. Winter is on its way. But when? Recent studies show that nearly 60% of millennials don't trust the financial market. This is because they think it's risky and unstable. As a result, many millennials keep around 40% of their savings in cash. The reason people are afraid to invest in the stock market is that they're afraid they'll invest at the wrong time and lose all their money. But the market crashes, which are called market corrections, if they exceed minus 10%, and bear markets if they exceed minus 20%, are nothing to be afraid of. In fact, they can be a great opportunity. Some people say there will be a bear market in 2019, but no one knows for sure when it will happen. Some people said it would happen in 2016 or 2017, but these predictions were wrong. Investors should concentrate on what they can control rather than what they can't, and no matter when winter comes, we know that spring will come. Here are a few facts to keep you warm during the winter. In general, corrections happen about once a year. This means that you should expect corrections to happen regularly, just like winter, spring, summer and autumn. No one can always predict if the market will rise or fall. One of the best forecasters is called Dr. Doom. He's famous for predicting the 2008 market meltdown. But he also predicted this wrongly in 2004, 2005 and 2006. The stock market will rise as long as workers are becoming more productive and the population is growing. Technology also gives us new innovations which makes people more optimistic about the future. The 12 months following the bear markets in 1949 show that even if things seem bad at first, they can get better. Takeaway number 2. Don't overpay for underperformance. People don't always realise that there are fees associated with financial instruments. These fees can eat away at your potential profits. For example, actively managed funds usually cost 3% every year. So for example, Steve and Andy are both 20 years old. They each invested $20,000 in the stock market. Stephen chose to invest in index funds with an annual fee of 0.5%. Andy, on the other hand, chose to invest in an actively managed fund with an annual fee of 3%. They are both smart investors, so they invest for the long run. When they're 55 years old, they look at their portfolios again to see how much money they'll need for their children's college educations. Both of them have achieved an average of 10% in annual returns, excluding fees. Stephen's portfolio is now worth around $480,000, which is enough to send his oldest daughter Anna to Harvard. Andy's portfolio, on the other hand, is worth less than half at $210,000. Andy invested in actively managed funds, which are supposed to give him higher yearly returns than his passively managed funds of Stephen. However, research has shown that in almost all cases, actively managed funds perform worse than index funds. This is because they charge more fees. Takeaway number 3. If it looks like an elk and sounds like an elk, it's probably an elk or a broker. A financial advisor can be very helpful in managing your money. They can help you save money and make wise investments. However, it's important to find an advisor who has your best interests at heart and who also knows genuine knowledge about finance. And there are 3 types of advisors. Number 1, brokers. They're known by many different names, including financial consultant, wealth manager, investment consultant, financial advisor and wealth advisor. Whatever fancy title they use, you must understand that these people are salespeople under tremendous pressure to create income for their firms through fees. Some people will call themselves whatever they need to in order to make more sales. If calling themselves financial consultants help them sell more products, that's okay. If calling themselves trading wizards or elves helps them more, that's okay as well. Number 2. Independent advisors. Financial advisors in this category are legally required to act in their clients' best interests. Unfortunately, these are uncommon. Only 10% of advisors fall within this category. And number 3, duly registered advisors. They're registered as independent advisors as well as brokers. In other words, they're not always obligated to act in your best interests. Unfortunately, statistics show that only roughly 2% of so-called financial advisors can provide you with conflict-free advice. Here's a quick reminder before we continue. Make sure you smash that like button and hit the subscribe and notification button if you haven't already done so. It means that YouTube sends you more of these kinds of videos and it helps our channel as well. Now let's get back to the video. Takeaway number 4. Stick to the core 4. Number 1. Don't lose. People often go into the stock market thinking about how they can make a lot of money quickly. But the best investors, on the other hand, are more worried about avoiding losses. You can reach your financial goals by using margins of safety and smart asset allocation. Number 2. Create a situation where the potential rewards are much higher than the potential risks. You may have heard that in order to make more money, you need to take on more risks. While this is often true, the best investors look for opportunities where they can make more money with less risk. And one way to do this is by investing in stocks during times of pessimism and gloom, as explained in takeaway number 1. Number 3. Tax efficiency. In the US, if you own investments for less than a year, you'll be taxed the same way as your income. If you own them for longer than a year, you'll usually pay 20% of any profits you make. Number 4. Diversification. The author recommends diversifying in 4 ways: across asset classes, within asset classes, across markets and countries, across time. Takeaway number 5. The biggest threat to your financial success is your own thinking. Even if you do everything right, invest in low-cost index funds, minimize fees and taxes, and diversify over time and assets, you might still not get the results you want. So what's the last piece of the puzzle? Your brain. Your brain is wired in a way that makes it easy to make bad decisions when it comes to stocks. Scientists have found that when we lose money in the stock market, it feels the same as when we're in danger. It seeks to validate your beliefs. This is known as confirmation bias. Your mind craves proof, particularly proof of how smart and correct you are. However, this is counterproductive in terms of investment. Instead, you should seek out people who disagree with your stock decision or who may play devil's advocate with you. People who invest in the stock market often look at what's been happening recently to try and predict what will happen in the future. This is called recency bias. This means that people think recent experiences are more important when figuring out what will happen in the future. And this can cause people to buy more stocks when the market's going up and sell all their stocks when the market is going down, even though this isn't always rational. You can protect yourself from stock market fluctuations by having rules for your asset allocation. For example, have 20% of your money in bonds and 80% in stocks. Rebalance every year no matter how the stock market is doing. And that's all. Thank you for being all ears throughout the entire video. To create is effort, to copy is genius. Albert Einstein. If you want to expand your income by building an online income, feel free to contact me so we'll get things moving right away. And remember, if you want to change your life, let's make a change together. You need to make a change.